Hey Run Junkies, welcome to Runners Without Limits TV, and this is the course map breakdown for Rundisney's Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend. Whether you are running a single race or all four, this will give you a few ideas on what to expect. Before I get into the course maps, let me remind you that I recently posted an event guide breakdown, link above. That walks you through the guide and what you will need to know before you go. Check that out, but your best bet is to dig into the guide yourself online. The course maps aren't great. They're hard to decipher in spots, especially on the marathon course. But if there are sections that aren't clear, you can go to the Maps tab in the guide for a Google overlay map. By selecting or deselecting the courses you'd like to focus on, you get a pretty good idea turn by turn. It's tougher to see the landmarks like the castle and Spaceship Earth, but you will see the route more clearly. One thing I couldn't find was what is offered on course in terms of fueling. Dasani water and Powerade will be the beverage for sure, but we aren't sure what will be offered on the half and full marathon courses. Now for wine and dine, it was Honey Stinger Chews, so that might be what they use again, but historically they've had sport beans. We just don't know at the time of this film. There are 5 food stops, fueling stops on the marathon course, which is one more than they had in 2020. And I will point those out along the way. Now, a real quick note about start groups. This is, as far as I can tell, the corral system rebranded and reorganized. You will probably not know your start group until you pick up your bib at the expo. Now, from what we could tell after Wine and Dine, there was little rhyme or reason to who was placed in which start groups. We only speculated. There are only 6 start groups this year, as opposed to the 8 corrals for 2020 half and full marathons and the 16 corrals from the 2018 event. But they will take up the same amount of space at the start line. They're really spread out. So each start group will likely be broken into smaller groups as you approach the start line. But that's it. Let's get into the courses. Okay, so just to get to the digital event guide from the main rundisney.com page, you're going to drop down to events, go to Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend, then head over to the runner info tab. The official event guide is right here. So last week I did a whole breakdown of the entire guide with the exception of the course maps. So we're going to do that today. The 5K, 10K, half marathon, and full marathon course breakdown. So let me go over to the start staging area first. This is going to be the case for the 5K and the 10K. So your start corrals, your start groups will be in this area here. You will likely come in this direction past what is the finish line here. Then this is the reunion lot. This is really where you're going to spend a lot of time, and that's over on the finishers map. So I'm going to show you that in a second. So you're going to come in this direction. You need a bib to get through this runner's entrance here. You will go into your start groups by number, and then your start area is here. So let's move on to the finishers map because this is kind of important for the race starts as well. This is actually applicable to all starts and finishes. So this is the reunion area, but this is also where you're going to congregate a little bit beforehand. Your entertainment's going to be here, your dance party, your DJ, all of that entertainment is going to be over here. On Thursday and Friday for the 5K and 10K, you will head over here to your start corrals. Then on Saturday and Sunday for the half and full marathons, you're going to go out this direction, and we will talk about that here in a minute. A couple of quick things about the finishers area. They will have coffee, food, beverage, merchandise in this area here. Game day photos. They have moved the I Did It step and repeats or the Run Disney step and repeats outside of this finishers chute. It used to be in here, but now it's moved out here. Your gear bag check will be here before you head to your start line. So let's talk about the finish line here and how that all works. You're going to come through the finishers chute. Yay, yay. That's very exciting. There's going to be music and fun and all that great stuff. Your spectators will be seated in these areas here. As you progress through this turn, you will pick up your medals and a single medal for the event you just completed, Then in this area here is a big white tent that will be a medical tent if you need any medical aid or assistance, ice, anything like that. Turn another corner, you have water and Powerade available to you. Then you turn another corner. If you've done the Goofy or the Dopey challenge, you pick up those medals here, pick up your snack box here, and then on the way out, you grab your gear bag if you checked it. So let's move on to the 5K course map. All right, very similar, if not exactly the same as the Wine and Dine 5K. Like I said, you start out here. Your 5K corrals are in this area here. Your finishers area, reunion area is over here. You're going to start out and take a hard right turn around the Epcot parking lot all the way for the first mile backstage until you just go under test track. Then you're going to squeeze out between the Mexico and Norway pavilions and take a left-hand turn. You're going to do a tour around the World Showcase with a water stop at the American Adventure Pavilion. Then this one's a little different than it has been in the past, but you're going to take a left-hand turn, go behind Morocco and France and the new Ratatouille ride just under the Skyliner. Then you'll hit mile 2 on the Bridge Island here. Then out of the park through International Gateway, then right back in again backstage between the UK Pavilion and the World Showcase Pavilion. That's a large tent back here for the festivals. Take a left-hand turn past Canada and then out. Take a turn past Journey into Imagination, the land, the seas, then out past Spaceship Earth, then up, and then you kind of backtrack and come back around underneath it to take your final turn to the finish line. Pretty straightforward, really fun as a course. So let's move on to the 10K. The start and finish staging maps are exactly the same as what I just showed you, so let's head straight into the 10K course. So the 10K looks like a really interesting course. It's a little different than it has been in the past for this particular weekend. Your start corrals are in this area here. Once again, the 5K and the 10K are in this parking lot here. Your finishers area is over here. So you're going to go out and take a left and go straight for over a mile. After mile 1, you drop a little bit down off on the off-ramp here, and then you're taking a hard right turn to the first water stop just before mile 2. This here, from the start to mile 3, actually well past mile 3, is fairly flat and very fast. This section here is where you will get a lot of speed if you're looking to catch a little bit of time. There will be characters along the course though, so take a look for those. Then you have an upwards incline on this ramp here going over the highway into Hollywood Studios. So this is a little different than it has been in the past. You're going to come straight through between Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster. So this is a little different. You're going to take a left-hand turn and then another right to go all the way up Sunset Boulevard, and then you're going to take a left-hand turn to go down Hollywood Boulevard. It's a little different. It's a little bit more time inside, slightly more time inside Hollywood Studios than before. Then a quick water stop before you exit Hollywood Studios at mile 4, and then onto this fun little area here. This is probably the most congested area along any course that it uses this area. So this is a concrete sidewalk between Hollywood Studios and the Boardwalk Area Resorts. You were going to go up and over this bridge here. It's a good incline, so be careful there. To mile 5 at Beach Club. Then just before you get to International Gateway, you're going to take a left at the Skyliner and then back. Now let's break out into this map here. You're going to go back in behind the UK Pavilion. And just like with the 5K, you're going to come out between UK and World Showcase Pavilion. Then you're going to go all the way in a little bit more to the main thoroughfare here between World Showcase Lagoon and Future World. Then you're going to follow along back here against the land, the seas, and imagination, and again up and under the spaceship Earth, and then out to mile 6 to the same finish line you had for the 5K. So that is your 10K. It's pretty interesting. The first 3 miles are going to be nice and flat and fast, and you're going to have a really good tour of Hollywood Studios and Epcot. All right, let's move on to the half marathon. Let's go to the start staging map for this because it's a little different than the other than the 5K and the 10K. So this will be your finish line area. This is how you get out into the staging area reunion lot here. Once they open the start group areas, you will walk all the way out here and then back into your starting groups. And this blue line is over 3/4 of a mile. So you want to give yourself time to get out there. There are some restrooms out there. Start groups 1 through 6, and you're going to have 1 through 4 on the north side of the road, and then 5 and 6 on the south side of the road. Let's go to the half marathon course map. Once again, your finishers area, that reunion area, is right here. Your walkout is this direction. So this is how you're going to get into those corrals. Once you start, you're going to go along the highway. You have a water stop almost right away. So mile 1, then you take a hard bank turn up toward Magic Kingdom. Nice long stretch of highway here. Another water stop just before mile 3. Then you're going through the Ticket and Transportation Center parking lot here, just under the monorails. You've got another water stop before you get there. It does get a little tight in this area here. You're kind of down to 1 lane in some places. So you have a lot of runners going through a small area. You're going to take a left-hand turn as you approach Magic Kingdom, which is right here. You're going to come in right through the front gates, guys. It's going to be amazing. And then your mile 5 is right at the hub there. Then you're going to take a hard right turn to go into Tomorrowland, and then past the circus area, Storybook Circus back here, behind Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, out past the carousel through Fantasyland, and out and underneath the castle, heading out past Liberty Square through Frontierland, and then out. Mile 6, then you're just along the road, skirting the monorail resorts, past Grand Floridian, past Disney's Polynesian, then along the golf course here, mile 8, and your first food stop. So really, from mile 6 to mile 11, you're basically on open road. You do have a couple of tighter areas in here. This turn up here is a little steep, but it's not too bad. Then you have a hairpin turn. You can't see it very well here. You're going to go up the road here, and then you're going to hit a really sharp turn. Caution runners, sharp right turn ahead. Then you will head into the backstage area of Epcot. This is all backstage. Then you're going to go through the new sections of Future World here, kind of zigzagging through. Then just skirting past the Spaceship Earth, then out to the finish line. So a couple of real quick things as we finish off the half marathon map. This is kind of a blind turn, and sometimes they'll have a character stop here, so it can get really congested in here really quickly. Along mile 4, like I said, you'll have some tight areas in here. Same with this in here. You're kind of down to 1 lane, so traffic can have access to these resort hotels here. So there are some tight spots along the way. Okay, guys, we're going to move on to the marathon, but I just want to give you a really quick look here because the marathon map is ridiculously confusing looking at it at this park overlay map. So I'm actually going to go over to the maps section here, the maps drop down. Now this is a mess too, but let's go see what we have here. These are all of your courses, and you can select and deselect whichever ones you want to take a look at. And it takes a little bit of kind of jiggering to figure out what you're looking at. But basically, your yellow pins are your mile markers. Obviously, the cups are your water stops. Your red pluses are medical tents, and then you have the restaurant sign for food and or for food stops. Okay, so let me start here. I'm going to go back over to the start staging area. Okay, you have start groups. I keep calling them corrals. It's a hard habit to break. 1 through 5 on the north side of the road here, and then 6 kind of offset. It's slightly different than the half marathon map. Start staging map. So again, you're going to walk out for a good 3/4 of a mile to come out this direction. Now notice something here, guys. This red line here is the course that eventually crosses this start area here. So this can be a problem when we're starting to talk about what the start day looks like. So everybody needs to be in here and set up before they can even start the race. Here's why. Your chairs and your elites are going to be through here, which is just past mile 3, around mile 4, maybe in about 15 to 20 minutes. The chairs probably even faster. So they have to close this off so the runners and chairs can get through here. Okay, so just something to keep in mind. Be there early. Let's go over to courses. So we are looking at the finishers area here. Your finish line's right here, and this is the reunion area. So you're going to walk out this direction, crossing over this area here and coming up to the start line. So this is your start line on the north side of the road here. You're going to come along to mile 1. Then you're going to do a quick hairpin turn and then head down this ramp and then along, and you're going to do another curly Q here at mile 2 and then straight into Epcot. So once you come down at past mile 2, mile 3 is through the parking lots again, and then you are going to get you're going to skirt through the bus drop-off area to mile 3. Once you come into mile 3, you are back into Future World, back in the park. So let me show you what that looks like. You come in between Journey into Imagination and the Land. Then you are out through the center of the park. Then you're going to take a right-hand turn over the bridge into World Showcase, up in between Mexico and Norway pavilions, then under Test Track, and then back out. So let me show you what that looks like. So mile 3, in through the park, up into World Showcase, just past Mexico and Norway, out under Test Track, and then past this cast member parking lot, out past the start area again. So this is mile 4 here. Then you are well on your way to Magic Kingdom. You're just kind of sliding along. You're just kind of running along this nice long straightaway. You're doing this interchange, then up. So this is going to be a down ramp, I believe. Yes, you're going to go down a hill here in a turn, and then you're going to go up toward Magic Kingdom. This is mile 5, mile 6, mile 7. Once you pass mile 7, you are on your way up to Magic Kingdom. Now, I'm going to drop in the half marathon course so you can see the difference here. It's not exactly the same course. So in order to avoid confusion, I'm going to take the half marathon out of there. So mile 8, just before you get to the TTC parking lot, take a hard right turn before you get into the Ticket and Transportation Center here. You're just going to go right under the monorail. Lots of spectators will be allowed in here. Mile 9, this is your first food stop. So just past mile 9, you're coming up through World Drive here. Now, this is probably one of your biggest bottlenecks right here. You go down and under the bridge, under the water bridge, and then back up. This is a nice steep uphill as you get to the Contemporary. Now, once again, I'm going to show you the difference between the half marathon and the full marathon. So where the half marathon would take you through the bus drop-off, you're going to go past the bus drop-off on the marathon course to mile 10. Let me take the half marathon back out of this. You're going straight up Main Street, but you're not going through the main entrance. You're coming out through a backstage door here. So once you come in and you go up Main Street, I'm going to switch over to the pretty map, sort of. You're coming straight up Main Street through the hub, out to Tomorrowland, past Tomorrowland Speedway, in front of Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, out through the castle, through the hub again, out through Liberty Square, and then exit through the park. So then you have a nice long stretch down to Animal Kingdom, and let me kind of detail that out here. You're backstage, you hit mile 11 just outside the park at a water stop, mile 12, and then this is another cone alley, you guys. This is where it gets kind of tight in here. It's a 2-lane road, and they do need to allow access for vehicles to get in and out of there. So this is pretty tight for a good mile in here. We call that Cone Alley. There's another one. Back past the Ticket and Transportation Center parking lot, Mile 13 is right here. You are just about to your halfway point. Taking another turn to go just kind of out into the middle of nowhere here. It's lovely. It's beautiful back here. Mile 14 and another food stop. Again, I don't know what all the food stops are going to be. Then mile 15. So this is a 2-lane road where the course will double back on itself. So you'll see your friends that are either ahead or behind you right here. So you pass Western Way here. These are the greenhouses. Then you come past, this is mile 16 when you make your turn into Animal Kingdom. So let's flip over to the fun map. So you're coming into Harambe Market out on the north side of the kind of the river here off of Discovery Island. You're going to go through past Kali River Rapids up to Expedition Everest. Now this is just before mile 17. By this point, it's possible that Animal Kingdom will be open. If you want to ride Everest, this is your first shot at doing so. Another food stop. This is your third food stop. Switching back over to this much easier to read map, you're going backstage again, and then along this area where you'll see people passing you going the other direction. Then you'll take a hard right turn toward Blizzard Beach and Coronado Springs here. Now this is mile 20, guys. So looking at this map, you can see like what kind of mess this is. So I wanted to show it to you on this other map. So you're coming along Western Way here. You run into mile 20, and then you're headed toward Blizzard Beach. Now you're doing a quick out and back here. There's going to be a sharp left turn, and then you're going to go through. You're going to do maybe half a mile through the parking lot at Blizzard Beach. You are not going directly into Blizzard Beach. So another food stop here at mile 21. So if you see that here, you are that close to Blizzard Beach. There's a water and a food stop here at mile 21. Then you're headed back past Coronado Springs, going to the other map. Then you're going past Coronado Springs again, mile 22, up and over Buena Vista Drive. So this is an overpass, and you'll see World Drive beneath you. Then you're going to turn right into the backstage of Hollywood Studios, up a really tough hill, especially at that point in the race, to another food stop. I believe this is where the candy stop is, guys. With 5 food stops, I'm not exactly sure what they're serving, but historically, this has been the candy stop. So let's switch over to the fun map. You come in past Fantasmic. This is where your food stop is, folks. Then you come down the hill past Hollywood Tower Hotel, up Sunset Boulevard ever so slightly, then a quick dodge backstage, and then out of the park. Not a whole lot of time in Hollywood Studios. Then you are up this really tight, this is your tightest bottleneck usually. So you'll see, you'll go under the Skyliner here and then along the waterway here. Mile 24, you guys, you're getting close. Real quick, you guys, your last water stop is going to be here at the United Kingdom Pavilion. That is your last one before mile 25. So make sure you're all set to go. All right, so you are on the boardwalk here. You're going past ESPN Club, up and over the bridge, down the hill, past International Gateway backstage, to the United Kingdom Pavilion. You will take a hard right turn and do your tour around the World Showcase. Your mile 25 is between American Adventure and Italy. Then you're headed around. Now keep going here, because since you're doing a full tour around the World Showcase Pavilion, you get to go past Mexico and all of these other places that serve food. So if you want to stop for something and carry it across the finish line, you're doing that. So you're going to go all the way in back to the main thoroughfare, the bridge between World Showcase and Future World, past Club Cool and all of this stuff here, past Test Track, Mission Space, backstage. So let's switch to the green map here. We've got, you're coming around World Showcase, mile 25. Then you're going past Mexico and Norway. Grab your margarita so you can take that to the finish line. Take a hard right and squeeze past Test Track behind Mission Space and the new Guardians ride, which isn't open yet. I can't wait for that. This is all backstage here, but it's probably going to look a heck of a lot better than it did in 2020 when all that stuff was under construction. Then you are back out to the finish line. But let's just take you over here. This is your finish line. So you're coming backstage and then out to the finish. And yay. But here's the thing, you guys, if you are gonna do the Walt Disney World Marathon, I would take a look very closely at this map and at the Google map to kind of get your bearings on where all the food stops are. But that is it, guys. I'm done. But that is going to do it for the Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend course map breakdown. Please remember, this video is only a guide and may not have all the answers you are actually looking for. If that's the case, please leave a comment in the box below, but chances are you will have most of your questions answered as you go through the guide on your own. If you missed the digital event guide breakdown, please click on this video right up here. And for what we learned at Wine and Dine from 2021, check out this video right here. That's going to do it for me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends, and until next time, remember, you are a runner without limits. Happy running.